Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Broke on advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. Whoa, we do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Whoa, Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. EYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah, Nicky's. Yeah, OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, chen. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the stack. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Rich. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We got an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for the OnChain Hour, and today's live is going to be awesome, guys, because we're at 108,480, right? We're at 108,480. So yesterday we were ping-ponging between 107.9 and like 109, right? And it seems like we're going to be continuing that, right? So there's a lot of different things that could possibly happen over the course of the next 48 hours, right? We do have this tariff thing that's happening. Trump has pushed that back. It was supposed to be July 9th, and now it is August 1st. So he signed an executive order today, kind of pushing the tariffs back. But we're expecting some headlines to come in, right? Some deals being done. Scott Bessett has came out and said that he's been talking to a lot of different countries and different things and kind of making sure things can get pressed, and even the next couple of days. So this is the last chance for these tariffs to get through. But me, I'm honestly tired of hearing about tariffs. I'm just tired about this whole thing has just been a mockery of everything that we're trying to do here, right? Because the fact that they can just keep pushing back. It's like, stick to your deadlines. Like, stop this, right? I thought Trump was this master negotiator, and in reality, he's just a kind of a pushover at this point, right? I don't know what to think. I was expecting better things from this administration, but just not happening. But we got a lot to talk about today. We're gonna go through a crap load of stuff. I mean, yesterday I did say that I thought the CPI data was today, but it's in reality it's next Tuesday and next Wednesday. So I don't know where I got that data from, but I got the right data. We're going to go over exactly where to find the correct data and everything as well. We got the guys from Artura joining later. We're going to be talking about the DXY and why I think this is the ultimate chart to keep an eye on and pay attention to. PumpFun launching a token. We're going to talk about that as well. We got a lot going on, guys. So without further ado, let's start the show. Bringing my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? How you feeling today, bro?
I'm trying to bring the energy today. I wanna like, get some energy going, and yeah, like Bitcoin is definitely playing musical chairs or like hopping back and forth. Yesterday was it was probably a scalper's dream yesterday if they knew it was gonna play out like that the entire day. But man, it was complete like back and forth from 107,400 to 108,500, and it literally, I'm talking 4, 5, 6 times it went back and forth. So if you were scalp trading that, you probably did very, very well yesterday. But you know, we're looking for something that's going to show momentum. And yesterday we just didn't get it. We got like just a little bit each way, and it kept taking turns. And that doesn't really tell us much, right? It doesn't tell us where we feel like it's going to go. But you know, if we do zoom out and we kind of stick to our convictions and our thesis, we think in the next week and a half is when that really happens. And that's, we'll kind of see the DXY. We'll get into that later, but you know, that could play into it too.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just feeling that summertime flow right now. I mean, so every Saturday there's no liquidity in the markets. There's no one really trading. It's basically what it did yesterday. You'll see Saturday, so that's just you know, it'll start off like 107, and throughout the day maybe we'll go to 107.4 and come back down to 107, and then go back to 107.6 and then come back down to 107. That's a Saturday feel, and that's exactly what we saw yesterday. So that's just telling me a lot of different things. Big players are on vacation. I mean, we just had July 4th, right? And you know, we're in the dead center of summer right now, right? The next 3-4 weeks is the dog days of summer, where it's just hot. It's just people on vacation, not much going on, and that's kind of scary being in these markets, because we might have 4 weeks, 5 weeks of very, very boring price action.
We could, but if it does play out similarly to the previous 2 cycles, with the correlation of the DXY, then you know, this could be like you know, the end of August could be like at least like igniting the fuse, right? We might not see like a super crazy explosion, but we'll see like movements up, levels up. We'll see if that plays out though.
But the problem is, and I'll just show the chart just so I can kind of think what I'm thinking here. So let's just go to last cycle, for instance, right? So this line right here, this is July 27th of 2020, right? This is the line that broke the camel's back and took us in the bear market. We didn't see Bitcoin get to the all-time high until December, right? It was December 13th is when Bitcoin got back to its I think it got like 13th. I think it was like December 20th. It got to its all-time high of $20,000. So we had to wait almost 5 months to get there. And I wasn't really around in July of 2017, but it does seem like, you know, January being the kind of the top there, and the bottom for the DXY, top for the crypto cycle and bottom for DXY, it did maybe take another 6 months to get there.
It took 6 months, but I mean, there was levels to where it went up, though, right? It wasn't like it was just like, you know, 5.5 months, and all of a sudden, or like, you know, I mean, yes, there was certain parts of that was more aggressive, but like there was a kind of a stair step, I guess you could say, up to that, right? I do remember the later months of that year being more aggressive, but there was months that were, it wasn't like you were going up with like huge down draws. It wasn't like that, right? So that's where the positive could be seen, I guess, if you're going to look for positives there. It could, you're gonna have some like, you know, pull back, but it's not going to be so aggressive to where you're like discouraged the entire time. I don't think we get last summer. I don't think we get the summer before that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So last summer, let's take it back to last summer. Last summer was, this is 2020. So last summer, let's just go to, okay, so this was June, July of 2023, 2 summers ago. Just, it went up, sideways, right back down. So the start of the summer and the end of the summer were pretty much the same exact number. Let's take it back to last summer here, and basically the same thing. So let's go to July. Same thing, right? With the start of the summer and the end of the summer were pretty much within, you know, a few percentage points of each other. But then, you know, we did last summer, or like last year, it took it to October. It took to November to really get that push up, right? So between October, September, and October was the real push up with the, you know, it just continuing its sideways downtrend. And I'm kind of hoping we don't get that. I mean, we did break out of this trend that we've been in, this camel. I don't know if I don't know. This looks like a camel to me, bro. Like, I don't know.
Kind of, there's like 2 humps in there too.
Yeah, I mean, Sally the camel here. We did break out of Sally the camel though, and hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping that we get a different type of summer, but we still have 4 more, potentially 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks left of summer before Labor Day. And I'm hoping we can kind of push up here before then. But it wouldn't shock me, though. It really wouldn't shock me if we just kind of sat here until potentially January.
Yeah, well, I would look at maybe 2017 and 2020
Yeah.
summer to see what those look like whenever July started, right? Because that's what that's what we're correlating the DXY to is, somewhere between July
Yeah.
10th and July 25th, there was a really big drop in the DXY. And my logical part of my brain says, well, then Bitcoin must have started that gradual stair step starting kind of around that time period, but maybe I'm wrong.
October. So in 2020, Bitcoin didn't start its gradual stair step until October. So that's just July of 20, right?
Those
Did
look
have
like
a
some
push up.
those look like some pretty good months to me.
Yeah, but look, it retraced the entire month of August. So
Yeah.
the entire summer was kind of a waste. And
Well, I'll
then
take that though. I'll take that over what we saw the past
yeah,
two summers. You know what I mean? Like what was it, 2.5 months of are these weekly candles, right? So that's
these are weekly, yeah.
so you had a really bad week in August. 1 week
Yeah.
that was really bad, and then after that the recovery started again pretty much. So
You saw
I
that a
don't know.
lot that year. Look, it was the same thing. It was like every time, it was like, oh, breakout, no, breakout, no, breakout, no, and then finally, it finally broke out.
That
after
first
trying
no
3
though,
different
that
times.
first no looks really like horrible, like depressing.
Yeah,
That one,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
breakout, no. You know what
Is
I
this
mean?
like
Like the other no's, yeah,
yeah,
still not happy, but like at least we're like,
yeah. And
moving
let's take
somewhere.
it. We'll take a look at July of. So we do know the DXY July of 2017, right? So that's June. This is July right here. So same thing, really, right? So July started July 10th, up, down, and then it did begin the stair step though. It was the first big step.
Yeah,
July
so
was, but then we really didn't see momentum until about August and then October. About August, yeah. So people are saying this cycle is correlating with this, and this is true. We should start building up from here.
yeah, I think we might be like a couple weeks ahead of maybe that.
Yeah.
And we'll see. We'll see. But regardless, I think the 17 and 20 summers much better scenarios than 2023 and 2024, which makes sense because
Yeah.
those are the bull run years, right? So I know like we don't really want to go back to last year or 2023 summers because that was really like just methodical, like slow.
Yeah.
We were just wanted to get out of it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember staring in the ocean in 2023 and be like, "Am I gonna make it?"
You're like, who am I?
What am I?
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards, man. All right, let's jump into the first topic of today. U.S. eyes crypto crown, Trump tariffs incoming, Powell blocks Trumponomics. All right, so the first thing there is Trump delayed July 9th, Liberation Day tariff to August 1st by executive order on July 7th. For more talks, he sent notices to 14 countries warning of reciprocal duties. 3 deals have averted levies: UK, Vietnam, and China. So we got deals with them. We're not worried about those 3 countries. Markets dipped as negotiations with Canada, EU, India continue ahead of August 1st deadline, but that could be potential catalyst. An India deal would actually be the biggest deal because India has like a 70% tariff on the US, and we want to get that down at the same time as being fair to, maybe 30-30 on each side or something like that. But what do you think about this, the delay of tariffs until August 1st for some of these countries?
I mean, I'm just used to the headline being
Yeah.
delayed now, but I do agree with you. I think India is probably the biggest one of those countries, not only for the, incoming tariffs on our side, but, that they tariff us with our goods,
Yeah.
but the fact that they could be, the replacement of the large mass manufacturing that China does for us. Now, I have some family members that are in the distribution business, right? So right now, they've kind of learned their lesson from last cycle or last administration when he was that they kind of they already have factory relationships in India because of that.
Yeah.
Now the Chinese factories are their better relationships because they know how to make it quick. They know how to do a good job with the quality on all that stuff. But because of the last his last term, they have that ready. So some companies already have
Yeah.
kind of these backup plans, but India would be a big one, I think. And it would be interesting to see if they do kind of lower the tariffs and what that would do to their infrastructure if you start to see our products just more and more abundantly in their society.
Well, but that's the thing too, is like we can't really compete with them, right? With the price wise, like I mean, besides like chips and bigger, like more expensive stuff, like we can't compete with like we can't make t-shirts in the US and actually make a profit with them over there, right? It's just, it would make no sense.
Yeah,
They can
it
get
would
cheaper
be
other places.
I think it would be more towards the wealthy, and it'd be more towards maybe automobiles, those type of products, the
Gotcha.
higher end
Yeah.
products that because they have a large disparity between the wealthy and the have-nots there.
Yeah.
There's a big gap, and it's because they have a caste system there. It's basically you can't get out of it. You have to like
Yeah.
really try to figure out how to get out of that caste system. But because of that, we could benefit on the automobile side. But again, like if they have that much money, do they really want to buy a GMC? They probably want to buy like a like a Benz or something like that. So I don't even know if that would make too much sense.
Ford F-150, bro? No?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Raptor.
The House Ways and Means Committee will hold hearing on Wednesday, July 9th, to discuss making America the crypto capital of the world. That sounds awesome. This doesn't. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse to testify before the Senate Banking Committee on Wednesday to advocate for crypto market structure. So it's a lot going on now between the House, the Senate, and everything that's happening. But making crypto capital of the world, that's definitely bullish. But the same day, Garlinghouse is to testifying to the Senate Bank Committee. I don't know. It sounds a little wishy-washy a little bit.
Yeah, but you know that's pretty much what we probably expect from Ripple, right? They have that in their blood, bloodlines or whatever you want to say. Like that's just who they are. They that's where Brad Garlinghouse came from, is the financial system. And so I'm not shocked there. They're trying to get the license. They're, so I think there's going to be a lot of like meshing of how the old mindset is and then this new these entities that we can't really stop. I mean, it's not like the people that have these fundamentals of decentralization and like stop messing with us and coming over here, like you have, what are you going to do? Like you're gonna go protest and in Washington, you won't even protest for more things that like probably crypto needed like years ago. You know what I mean? And so I think this is just kind of going to be the way of business, but at the same time, like there's certain fundamental things you can do. You can always go to Bitcoin and the Bitcoin ecosystem, at least for now, and kind of have your own, control of your assets and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. Like crypto capital of the world, I feel like they're really trying to slap that title on there. Probably the administration is something that they want to be able to put on their, trophy wall type of thing. But I think it would be good just to, for the I guess perception of crypto in the US. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of like show me instead of tell me, right? Like it's always they just keep they just keep putting out these things, but there's no changes, right? We're not seeing the stablecoin act isn't even passed yet, right? Like it's just so I understand that politics is a process and all that stuff, but it's just annoying at this point. It's like show me, homie, but we'll see.
Yep.
All right. The final thing here on this is Fred Krueger says, I think trusting the government with the Bitcoin reserve is a very bad idea. Why do you think Fred thinks this? Why do you think having a Bitcoin reserve is a bad idea for government?
I mean, do you see our deficit? So
that's true.
It's kind of like, okay, these guys were like had zero like achievements with controlling the deficit or reducing it. Now we wanted them to be able to manage a Bitcoin reserve that could have a ton of Bitcoin, and then like you just get the wrong administration in there and like, look, we gotta use it for this. We gotta use it. I mean, who knows how that would go? Obviously, you would hope that you would have really strong checks and balances for that, but I think that's what he's alluding to.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, you're right though, because we were actually talking today about something like this, right? It was like, how do we trust these people who've made these mistakes before with this new idea and these new assets, right? It just doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Moving along here, Tuesday, July 15th, 8:30 is the CPI. Wednesday, July 16th is the PPI. I could have sworn, guys, when I get my information, I go to this Market Watch calendar, and I think they messed with me yesterday because I could have sworn today was CPI, but it does look like I could have sworn it was up here, but they might have made a mistake and moved it. I'm not blaming myself for this, but it does feel like we need something. We need a headline, bro, in order to get out of this 108, 107 structure that we're in. But this might be it. We might have to wait till next Tuesday, next Wednesday to get anything. But we do have something today. It is the Fed minutes coming out at 2:00. So this is something to pay attention to because we do know that there is a few Fed chairman or Fed people that are part of this committee that are kind of siding with Trump here a little bit. And it's curious to see if they spoke up to Powell during this meeting. But we do know that every single Fed member did vote the same way Powell did. So
for you're talking about the last time they had a chance. Yeah.
So the Fed minutes just covers what they talked about during that meeting.
Gotcha. Yeah. But this is the first time, like you mentioned, that people actually kind of came out and said that they feel like July could be a month. I don't know, man. Like this is I feel like a little bit kind of don't know what to think anymore about like the Fed and yes, we did have a couple of members on the committee come out and speak like, okay, they're more aligned with the administration's thought process. But what does that mean? Does that mean that do they have enough like pull? It's only a couple people, they could probably get swayed back the other way, but this is the first time that we've heard that, I think, at least this year. So maybe we'll see what kind of effect that will have, right? It's hard because we're talking about the CPI. You're in the camp that thinks that like, we're gonna have good numbers only because they might not be true numbers, but they're gonna be good numbers. You know what I mean? And so and how that can affect the decision making towards the end of the month, and what Polymarket's gonna look like, because Polymarket for some they not for some reason they. A good reason people look to it to see if we're pretty much going to get a cut or not, right? So if the CPI number comes in really good, that Polymarket percentage could change, and then maybe we do get a cut this month.
If they go from 96 to 95. So but I guess the one to really keep an eye on is September, but this is even getting hit now, like basically 50-50 at this point, right? But it was 65% before the jobs numbers came in, manipulated, in my opinion. But you are right. I do think this administration is going to manipulate these CPI numbers. We know that the last administration manipulated it, but they were just so good at it to where you always questioned if they did it or not when it was so obvious. This administration is just so blatantly, we're just going to smidge it up a little bit. But we'll see what it comes in looking like. I'm not saying our government is corrupt. I'm just saying sometimes they're able to push numbers in a direction to make them feel better. But we'll move on here. President Trump's Truth Social filed for a crypto blue-chip ETF that includes Bitcoin and other cryptos. So we saw last week Grayscale came out and they're trying to get their blue chip trust, which is XRP, Cardano, Ethereum, and there's another one, Solana's in there as well, and they're trying to get, and that actually got passed before it got paused. And I guess Trump's administration seen that, or Trump's team here at Truth Social seen that, and they're like, all right, let's try to get one passed ourselves. So they filed for a blue chip ETF that mirrors what Grayscale is putting up with their trust, and that will eventually be an ETF as well. What do you think about this? Truth Social having a blue chip ETF that includes Bitcoin?
Well, if they get through, do you think that's a bad look?
I mean, if they get through without Grayscale getting through.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that, because like if they get through, Grayscale has to get through, right?
Grayscale got to get through first, otherwise.
That's what I'm saying. So what if they get through first? Like, is that a bad look? That's my question.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. Grayscale is proven. They have Bitcoin ETFs, right? So, but the problem is, though, remember in January of 2024 when the ETF got passed and then Grayscale sold for 6 months?
I do remember that.
So that's the only scary part about Grayscale's trust because when you lock into a trust, that money stays there. There is no withdrawal.
I feel like it was a different time though, right? I feel like it was kind of like a lot of, because they've had that Bitcoin for a very long time, and
2013.
and I know that they did open up different funds as well after, like, you know, don't they have like Ethereum or Solana funds too, that they did the old way, the way they used to.
Trust.
So yeah. So they might sell some of that down, but I do think it's a different time. You know, they were holding on to that Bitcoin for a long time, you know, so it like when they sold, a lot of people were like, okay, that was probably expected. They've been holding that forever. They got through all the legal battles and stuff that they were put through and all that stuff. So I don't necessarily expect that to happen. I actually expect them to have a strong product for the blue chip ETF index fund, or whatever you want to call it. And now there's competition. There's True Social, which is crazy. I would think that they would just name it something different, but hey, maybe True Social just needs something right at this point.
Yeah. Trump's truth, I guess you would call it eventually, right? ETF. But I think this is big because I don't think this company, True Social, owns any Solana or any Ethereum XRP.
So they'd have to buy it.
They have to buy it from the market. And they're not buying, $100 grand worth. They're buying potential, billions of these assets. We'll see. All right. Speaking of Ethereum, the government just moved $219,000 worth of ETH to Coinbase. Speculating is saying that they're going to sell its ETH and withdraw Bitcoin and add to the Bitcoin stockpile. There's another rumor saying they're going to sell down all the assets they have, including some bonds and stuff like that, to potentially get some more Bitcoin. So I don't know, but I think this is stupid. Like, why would David Sachs be okay with this? But apparently they're doing it.
Yeah, this is nothing burger anyways. 219,000, that's nothing. Right. So it's almost kind of like this was pushed. I guess anything that the government does that's having to do with crypto is going to be a headline. So
especially on the Coinbase, right?
I mean, yeah. But like literally $219,000. Did they just add like new staff to the White House or something? And they're trying to like sell down. Yeah, that's like 2 people's salaries there. So to me, that's why I feel like this is more of a nothing burger. But it seems like somebody wants this to be more than a nothing burger or something. See,
that could be it too, right? This could be, they could have found this Ethereum under the couch and didn't know what to do with it, right? So let's just send it to the Coinbase, or this could be, them kind of gearing up for maybe changing their wallets around and stuff like that, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Trump is set to launch on the TRON blockchain. So how do you think about this? The Trump coin going to be multi-chain now, going to TRON of all places.
This is not going to be a new token, right? This is just going to be bridged.
Yeah, they're basically locking some up on a bridge, and so you're gonna be able to bridge from TRON to Solana now.
Yeah,
using the Trump token.
I mean, I guess cool. I guess, you know what I mean? Like, like it was just
summertime news.
Maybe Justin Sun like wants some like some fees or something. I mean, like I'm pretty sure like TRON is the one who whipped up the AMMs over there and stuff, right? Like, gotta be. Maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. He's making a lot of money regardless, but cool. I guess like the branding goes over there. So there's a lot of business happening between, by the way, TRON and Wilfi and BNB and stuff like that. So that's
TRON's definitely going to be a leader, especially in the US, in my opinion, because of this. So we'll move along here. So PumpFun did something weird yesterday. Gate.io, I think, accidentally leaked some information because they posted something, and this is an article by Decrypt. It says, is Pump.fun launching a token? Gate pulls page saying Pump sale is coming this week. Pump.fun is reportedly planning to launch its own Pump token for sale, offering 150 billion tokens at 0.004 each, with a total supply of 1 trillion tokens. You can't make this shit up. The sale, valued at $600 million, expected to be on a first come first served basis for up to 72 hours. Crypto exchange Gate advertised the sale on Monday, but then apparently pulled the page offline following a social media attention. What do you think, man? First off, did Gate accidentally leak this info? Second off, this is insane. 1 trillion tokens. at 0.004 is like the largest market cap token ever. I gotta do some math, but damn.
I don't know if it was intentional or not. I mean, would this sabotage the sale?
No,
Or would it
not at
create,
all.
or would it, what do you feel? Do you feel like it's gonna like create like a lot of unfair kind of situation? First come, first serve. Solana sounds like the worst case situation for me. Like if people use Photon, people has all these bots, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I wouldn't touch that, you know. But everybody expected this token anyways, right? It's just kind of now you have the details.
At this price, 1 trillion tokens times 0.004 is 4 billion. So they're saying they're 4 billion. I think that's. Do you think it's fair for PumpFun? 4 billion.
The tokenomics and stuff to me sounds like they possibly could be, because this is going to be a Solana standard, right?
Yeah, Solana standard. Yep.
But like that doesn't stop them from being able to bridge into their own ecosystem. You know, maybe they have an SVM like layer 2 or something, because there's a lot of whisperings that like they're going to create their own chain, they're going to create their own, you know, ecosystem and stuff like that. So I don't know, 1 trillion tokens, that doesn't seem, you know, that seems like they're preparing for something that's like an ecosystem, like they like you know what I mean, like PumpFun right now. If they just go off of the product that they have right now, I don't think it's a fair value, because they're losing market share right now as we speak to Bonk Launchpad. So they have something, and I think you mentioned this before, you think that they have something underneath like that's covered up right now that they're probably going to release, and that's what this token sale has to do with. And I agree with you, I'm in that camp. And just the tokenomics are telling me that as well. Like 1 trillion, they feel like they belong into like a top 30, top 40.
Well, that's right here. So they launched right now at that market valuation at 4 billion. They're number 30.
Yeah. So you have to, that has to be warranted though, right? And I think, you know, if they're losing market share right now with just their launchpad system, then they have something else.
Well, let me ask
they're going to release.
Are they bigger than BitTensor? Are they bigger than Kronos? Are they bigger than OXB? That's what they're saying here by having this valuation.
With the PumpFun product from like, you know, the
as
past
of right now, as of today.
No.
Where would you see them? Ondo level? Lower than Ondo?
Like today? With their business model, if they just continued what I see right now, I wouldn't even put them in the top 100. Like from what I'm seeing right now, because they're losing like large percentages of market share right now. So how are they going to continue that if they're losing it to Bonk? People are losing faith in PumpFun. When I look at the positive and negative sentiment, pie charts or whatever the heck you want to call those on cookie.fun, they're always in the negative. They are always in the negative, and so is Elon's always on that negative side. And it's been like that, I would say, probably for the past 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
So they right now, unless you are benefiting, you have a squad or whatever, a team that is set up with Photon, you have bots, you're just milking all this these profits, then you're rooting for PumpFun. But majority of people, 95% of the people that aren't in that, they look at PumpFun as bad, negative, you know, extraction max. And so that's how I view them as well. And so they're gonna have to have something else.
I agree, but who's buying this token at 4 billion in valuation? Like,
probably. I mean, I'm not saying that like people aren't going to buy it, because people are probably anticipating that they have something, right? Whether it's their own chain or whatever, it's an app chain or you know what I mean, a chain app or whatever they call it, like a Hyperliquid, whatever they have, they're speculating on it, and they know. I mean, as much as like it's annoying, like what they've done and stuff like that, like Elon's talented. They they created something that they were able to like literally make multiple millions every single day. And I don't even know what their peak was. I don't want to look at it. But you know, and then you look at Kraken. Kraken's a manager of their SOL, and they have tons of money that they made from profit. And you got to remember too, they made money off of like tokens that didn't have success. They only had short-term success, like 2-week success or whatever, that got to like $30 million, but they were making money off of the fees constantly generating, right? So
well, let me ask you this. Let's just say Friday PumpFun launches this on all the big exchanges, right? Gate.io, Binance, right? And do you think Bitcoin, Ethereum, a lot of the blue chips, and some of the bigger name coins, do you think they dip because people are selling them to buy this new token, or do you think this is probably not even going to sell out?
I don't think I think it sells out, but I don't think Bitcoin gets affected. Ethereum not necessarily, but I think maybe some of the newer mid caps do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like the memes on Solana, the fart coins, the you
Yeah.
know,
Trump.
the yes, exactly. Those will get affected by it. And I think that they'll probably sell out just because they won't let themselves look bad. You know, they have enough money.
They use their own money.
Exactly. We know the name of the game. You know,
Yeah.
we don't do it, but like you go down to you go down to a social level in our space.
Yeah.
There's fake it till you make it people out
Yeah,
there that like
yeah.
have 100,000 followers, but they really only have maybe 20% of that are genuine followers, right? So that's what I'm expecting. They won't allow themselves to look like a failure in this launch, and they'll sell out. But that doesn't mean that, you know, it's you know, I don't know. I still think that they're going to pull out another product or something. Product offering.
They've only ever they made about what, $800 million, right? I don't think they made over $1 billion to have that. You think? I think it's like 800 million they've sent to Kraken.
But that's such a lot. That's
no,
so,
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
So they're about to raise $600 million. So this is like doubling what they basically just
not
made.
Not doubling. If they
a
made
little bit more than, a little less than doubling. If $800 million,
half of yeah. I mean, but yeah, you're right. That raise is substantial. And the thing about them, dude, is that like he knows he can get away with it. He knows he can do it. But again, look, I'm not talking about like PumpFun and their business model. I'm talking about more about like the raise. I feel like he can because, well, okay, from a true perspective, if it was just not like any assistance from their own side or anything, I'm not sure if they could sell out. But in that aspect, I think you might be right. I think they probably get about 60% of public, maybe 60-70% of public, and then they'll have to come up with the rest.
But we're gonna see that because all their money's on Kraken. We're gonna their $800 million is in Solana on Kraken that they've been selling down into cash. Yeah,
they pulled some out the other day, $15 million.
But $15 million from 650, like, I mean, dude, like you gotta get some. You have to be having backdoor discussions saying, are you gonna buy this, and having a lot of people saying otherwise
you don't think they do? I know they
do.
I
think they do, but $600 million in the matter of a few days, 3 days, 72 hours. I mean,
remember like the network that was like running things. What's that guy's name? I forgot his name. Hester or whatever his name was. The big guy with the glasses that did the melee. He did the melee launch. He's not the only guy. He's not the only guy. There's multiple guys like him that you know, we found out was at Meteora. Like there's no evidence against them because the investigation didn't go that deep and the SEC didn't come in or anything. But I mean, there was assumptions that like Meteora, like, you know, they knew what was about to be launched, all these things. So I mean, I don't know, man. This is kind of speculation, but it just feels like that. We'll see how this plays out, though. I mean, again, they will sell out. So
100%. It might be a good idea to short Trump coin and stuff like that if this is this week. I mean, it could be a good easy way down. So this is the last thing before fear and greed. So this guy on Polymarket, all he does is vote no. He just goes to everything and just votes no. So will Bitcoin reach 150K by July? He said no, he won. Ethereum, $4,000. No, he won. XRP, no, he won. Will Bitcoin reach 200,000 by December 31st? He says no, he's potentially going to win this. Ukraine election held in 2025. He said no. He votes no on everything. And he just makes out like a bandit, bro. He doesn't even try for a yes. He's just like no. And he's winning so many of these trades right now.
Yeah, we should go start as soon as we bet no, it's gonna switch to yes. No, I'm just kidding.
This is it right here, right? So no. It's just no for everything. And that's all he does. His entire portfolio is just no. And he wins. So shout out to this guy.
But how much did he make?
Funny that even made news. I mean, he's
millions?
Like $1,000.
Millions.
Yeah, I mean, he's made a lot. So on this one by July or whatever. So he's probably going to win this one. I mean, his bets aren't small either, right? I mean, they're pretty massive. 40,000, 40,000, 20,000, 20,000, 16,000. But this dude's a winner for sure.
We need to see when he starts betting yes, though, because then market go up.
This is telling me that we might be at like a bottom in a lot of things, right? Because the market doesn't just let things happen like this forever. It's going to reverse. So this could be a bottom signal, one of the many bottom signals where eventually he's going to lose. Like you can only win on the same bet for so long before that bet it changes, right? So this tells me that things are about to change, and hopefully this dude gets wiped out from voting no all the time. But let's jump into the crypto fear and greed here, and I did not have it up. All right, cool. Oh man, so last week was a 50, yesterday was a 52.
Let me guess without you giving me a hint. Let me guess
right.
without you giving me a hint. Okay.
Okay.
Yesterday, so it was 52 before yesterday. Carry the one. That's the 3. Okay. let me see. I'm gonna say we're sitting at 46.
Nah, 50. Yeah, we're at 50.
Okay.
Neutral, dead center. This is summertime, bro. You go back to last summer and watch our episodes. I guarantee you, we see neutral most of the summer.
Yeah, but last summer was different. 2 summers ago was worse.
It's the same as today.
Last summer was a little bit, but I'm just saying this summer is going to be a little bit better. It's going to be a little bit better, I think.
I hope so. Last summer, let's look back a little bit, right? What was happening last summer? Germany was selling Bitcoin last July.
Yep.
We had to deal with that. We had to deal with people saying it's going to go down to 20,000. We had all that, but for 8 months, from April of 2024 till about November of 2024 or 2025. No, April of 2025. No, 2024 till this is last year I'm talking about. Till November 2024, we were sideways for about 7 months. And that was tough.
It was tough because I remember also kind of getting through August was like the last bit of like that summer drought, and then I remember I went over to Singapore for token 2049, and all of a sudden like the fractal stuff started taking off, and the Cat 20, and then that led into runes exploding in October, in November. So I mean, I think we get a little bit better July and August than we did last year, but we will have a pullback at some point, and then hopefully we get that October thrust up. We'll see.
Yeah, man. All right, let's get into the Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura, they're going to be joining us in about 19 minutes. They're going to be coming on the show to kind of talk about some updates and talk about some market stuff here. But Artura, if you don't know what they are, they're building right now on a Bitcoin layer 2. They're actually building on 2 of them, but the first one they're building on is Botanix. Botanix just went live last week. There's a lot of opportunity there. You can bridge there and actually start messing around there now. And the rumor is, well, it's not a rumor anymore. They're coming out and they're saying they will be giving Bitcoin as the incentive. Botanix is not going to have a token, so they're going to be giving away Bitcoin, guys. So definitely want to be playing on Botanix on the dApps, but Artura is the dApp you should be playing on, because not only would be getting some Bitcoin from Botanix, but you also be potentially getting the ARA token. Definitely want to get their points and be a part of that. And on top of that, they're building on Hemi. Hemi is backed by Binance. This is a big deal because Hemi came out and already said they're going to have a token. They're going to incentivize their chain with their token, and potentially that token will be listed on Binance. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. And messing around with Artura, low leverage, low money, can potentially get you dose the airdrops there as well. So definitely want to check that out, guys, and you can check everything out at Artura.finance.
Absolutely. Can't wait to get in the conversation about those guys, because there's some trends that we want to talk to them about and see if we can get some confirmation on that. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, as always, as I ask you guys every single day, and you guys are awesome to help out on the YouTube side, smash that like, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, let's share the space. Let's get it going, Dog Army. Let's get some craziness going so we can get people in here to learn about Bitcoin, runes, and dog, and all the stuff we talk about. Same thing on the abstract side, guys. If you could help us out, we would greatly appreciate it. But let's jump into some price action. We're going to start with the hour chart, which doesn't look so great for this past hour. Geez, like the 10 o'clock Eastern candle was just atrocious. We did have some rise up though overnight, and that that was kind of a bounce back from yesterday's sell down. We got all the way down to 107.417. It did show some really good resilience in this level right here. You can see right here it got rejected on the downside. It popped back up. Same thing here. Now we were sitting at like 107.500. It got rejected, and then support came in, I should say, and then 107.400 support came in as well. If you look at the previous kind of levels before that, it was 107.230. So really that 107 kind of low area has been really protected very well. We'll see if that continues this week. I think it does, because I think most of us are expecting a strong next week and a half, 2 weeks here. All right, let's take a look at the indicators. Indicators showing that the buy pressure that happened overnight is starting to get exhausted, right? We did come up over here, and then that big candles before we started that overnight rise up, hung out over here. Now we are coming back down. You can see the MACD candle or MACD blue line showing it wants to come down as the buy pressure exhausts here. You can see the stochastic looks like it wants to start heading down to oversold territory. So what does that mean? Probably similar to what we saw yesterday, right, guys? I mean, yesterday was literally swinging back and forth. I mentioned it earlier in the show, from 107.400 to 108.500. We did break above that 108.500 this morning, but that doesn't mean anything. That was how we started the day, and now it seems like maybe it's at a little higher level. Maybe we swing down to 107.600, 700 instead, all the way back up to 109. That's okay, as long as we don't see any extremely volatile moves to the downside. I think we'll be fine, and we continually protect that 107 low range there. All right, so second half of today, or at least the next 4 to 6 hours, I am in the camp that probably going to see some chop with a little bit of downtrend, meaning that possibly get to 107, 600, 700, like I mentioned earlier. It's just going to be a different level of pendulum swinging back and forth. So maybe the scalpers might have another great day today, right? If they are able to play this correctly, but we'll see. The 4-hour chart, let's take a look at that. What's happening here? Some confirmation, giving us a little confirmation for what I just said on the 1 hour. The MACD looks like it's still in that kind of that sell pressure. It did look like it wanted to reverse here. It looked exhausted, and then this morning after hitting that 109 level and then coming down to kind of the low 108 of where we're hanging out right now, showing that, look, we're still in sell pressure here. So I'd be very careful if you're trying to be aggressive to the upside. But that's just me. Again, this is kind of just a high level of Bitcoin price action. So don't, make sure you do your own research as well. But yeah, so that's giving me confirmation, chop with some downtrend. Taking a look here on the daily. Daily looks like it's starting to close up for the buy pressure here on the MACD, at least. We might look, every time it did look like it was about to close up, it opened back up again, right? So we might just have some days of a little bit of weakness on the buy side, but doesn't mean we're going to completely come out of the buy pressure, right? Let's say that we kind of chop this week, and next week we get a good CPI, we start that rise up to get to those new all-time highs next week. I don't know, anything could happen. Headline could come in tomorrow, we could get right back on track. So but if I'm just looking at the indicator, it is showing that it is starting to exhaust a bit. Again, this has happened though multiple times in this almost 20-day, about 15-day stretch here that you're seeing on the MACD. But it does look like it's coming down from on the stochastic RSI, right? So we could see some red candles here start to form on the daily. So just keep that in mind as well. The weekly chart for Bitcoin still live here. We'll see how we end on Sunday, but looking still alive. It's looking okay. Nothing too much to worry about. Let's see how the rest of this week plays out. Let's go to the others weekly chart. So the others weekly chart, very similar to what I just said, right? Still waiting to see how Bitcoin and Ethereum plays out. Everything in the others chart is everything besides Bitcoin and the top 10. So Ethereum and Bitcoin are not in this, but this looks to those two to kind of give guidance, right? So, until Ethereum does its own thing and decides, hey, I'm ready to detach from Bitcoin. This is really going to be a delayed reaction on Bitcoin. Still looking okay. Honestly, I know we're not getting very much data here. It's just literally just on the sideline right now, just waiting. So that's what we're seeing for the others, which is pretty much the alts besides the top 10. Let's take a look at the crypto bubbles here in the top 100. Fartcoin is down 10.3%. That means that we are done for the cycle. No, I'm just kidding. But maybe for the day or tomorrow's maybe not good. I don't know.
Yeah,
Fartcoin is usually
Fartcoin's the leading indicator for the next day. So if Fartcoin's down and nothing else is, tomorrow's going to be a crack. Go short, bro. Go short.
Imagine us 2 years ago, we first started and we got to see this little segment just now. And you said Fartcoin is the leading indicator for the next day. And we're like, what the hell is Fartcoin? Because it wasn't even out then. But I think we'd be cracking up pretty hard there. But yeah, you see some meme coins here. Fartcoin is down 10.3%, which is never good. Flocky is up 6.6%. Interesting. I don't know what's really causing this to jump up, but I've noticed Floki kind of in the in a little bit of the headlines and stuff. Maybe their community is starting to come alive again. I'm not sure. Pengu looking pretty good, 4.1. You got Luca Nets over there, really doing his thing with Abstract and Pengu, so they're looking strong. What else do we see in here for memes for the top 100? Okay, I don't really see anything
depressing.
Yeah,
Sonic continuing his downtrend is back at bear market lows, like insanity, man.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Hyperliquid is usually a pretty good indicator as well. As pulled back 4.5%, almost 5% there. Yeah. You see some other utilities here. Jupiter down 2.9. Goodness gracious, Crow is up 15%. You Crow people out there, what is going on with Crypto.com's token here, the Chronos token? I don't know, probably something in the news, I imagine, maybe regulations or something like that, because they are have been really on top of making sure that they do all the due diligence for maybe being able to do business in the US. So maybe there's some headline there. Ethereum up 1.5 or 1.1%. That's always good to see. And Radium down 0.8%. Let's take a look at the top 200 here. Hex down 17%. PulseX down 5.4%. Big M, have no idea what it is, but it's thriving, up 30.2%. You got Mogcoin up 6%. Baby Doge up 4.5%. What is that? That's wild. Okay. Let's see. Everything else is pretty much red here. But hey, guys, yeah. So just hang in there. Hang in there. I promise we're not gonna always have days like this, but today is a day like this. So that's what you got.
Yeah. The bubbles suck today. they're just depressing, man. All right, let's kind of get into your comments here. The dog days of summers are here, guys. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I know I keep saying it. I just feel it in my bones. We'll jump the roll call here. Let's see who is here right now on this show. First. So Webdro, congratulations, you man. It feels awesome to have Webdro back in the first place. Oh wow, you just won a few days ago, so it's not like it's been a while. Wow, look, dude, this is crazy. Look at this back to back between Webdro and Lucky Lucky.
Lucky Lucky.
Yeah, so Lucky Lucky. So Lucky Lucky won three days in a row last week, right? And then Webdro won, then Lucky won, then Webdro won, then Lucky won. Now Webdro won again. So Webdro has 30 wins on the year. Lucky Lucky has 34, and Danny Boy is kind of falling back here at 26. But yeah, this is still anyone's game, guys. And how do you make this list? You make it by being the first comment on YouTube. And Lucky Lucky and Webdro are usually the first comment. So that's why. I mean, dude, look at the past 2 months. It's only been Lucky Lucky and Webdro. Like, that's it. And then Danny Boy. ASAP Benji was the last person to win that wasn't named Lucky Lucky, Danny Boy, or Webdro. Insanity, guys. Bitcoin Frog is on the line, though. So you definitely want to get that if possible. So what are they valued at right now, Bitcoin Frogs? They got to be like...
last time I saw they were like 700-800. But remember,
yeah,
these are like a collectible type of yeah, I actually stashed one of my frogs away from me to where I don't have access to it directly, just because it's like one of those things that it was 17 grand at one point.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
So if that collectibles market comes back, it could be nuts. We'll see.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the frogs right now, and it looks like they're valued at $704. So yeah, $704. But yeah, you're right. That could go to $7 grand pretty easy, especially in a bull market. We'll see. Webdro again. Lackey Lucas says congrats, Webdro. Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo, was right there. He was right there. Mats was right there. Shout out to Mats. Merlin Lucky is here. Let's go, Merlin Lucky. Rare Sats Dom, my guy. Really appreciate you being here every single day. Webdro is here. Why Hal Loop forever is a long time. Yeah, forever is a long time. Crypto Decoded says there is an Epstein list and he didn't kill himself. All right. I guess your comments on a crypto show about that is awesome. Bitcoin is Truth is here. Abstract is here every single day, guys. Lackey Lukey again. Kane99, Spindrift. Veda Time is here. Chota Satoshi is here. Let's F and go making the roll call today. Yeah, man. Absolutely awesome. Chief Axel is here, followed by Coach Cats. We call him here, but the Cash Cats with the coffee and the donuts and the dog go to the moon. Shout out to Cash Cats, our guy.
That's
man.
like my like a caffeine shot that I take every time we do that.
He gets us pumped up. Paulie says USDT is the premier stablecoin of crypto. It's presented as a solution from a serious problem in 2014. New stablecoins will need demand to succeed, but crypto doesn't need any new stablecoins. So it depends who you ask, right? So I truly believe that USDT is the number one stablecoin and will always be number one stablecoin. But the problem is it doesn't want to pass the U.S. regulations, which means the U.S. is going to avoid it, which means it's not going to be on any exchanges like it isn't right now. But the U.S. is just, 30% of the world economy. There's still 70% of the world economy that will use USDT as the number one stablecoin. So, yes.
I agree with them that it is. If you had to just do like a competition or like a list, I think you and I would probably have USDT at the top, USDC right after it though. But to his point though, real quick, is you're right. We don't need it, but you're talking about the American market, like the American consumer market that, these builders and banks and institutions thrive off of, right? And they're going to create as many products as they can to where they can make money. And that's just what it is. But I agree with you from a fundamental level, Paulie. You're right there. I couldn't disagree with that. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. We're going to have a lot of stable coins.
Yeah, 100%. And DAI is doubling the volume of USDC right now. So DAI is right there. DAI is, a decentralized stablecoin using the MakerDAO ecosystem. It is backed by UST and USDC as well as Ethereum. But yeah, look at the volume, dude. So $61 billion in volume by Tether, only $8 billion in volume. This is 24-hour volume by USDC. So I mean, it's doing 5 times, 6 times more than USDC right now.
Yeah, because they were really smart. First of all, we don't have to get into all like how they became successful in terms of their investments because we don't know half of them or more than half.
Yeah.
But like they were just really smart to be everywhere, in the very beginning. Be everywhere as much as possible, and it worked out for them.
100%. Hydro Sapien said, I made it. My guy, man. Every single day. Appreciate you. He's like, we got a lot of big nothing burgers. I mean, that's basically what our news was today. I'm not going to talk crap about our own show, but it is what it is. Stan says, is Powell the new Gary Gensler stunting the BTC explosion? Thanks. I like Powell. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to like Powell.
You like him because he got inflation into the 2% range?
I like him because he just says what he's gonna do. He tells you straight up what he's gonna do. He does it. He's not he doesn't beat around the bush. He doesn't say what he's just a stand-up guy. He only says and does exactly what he says he's gonna do. He's not a guy he's not like the rest of these fucking politicians where it's like they say one thing and do another. Powell's been telling us straight up what he's gonna do.
Well,
and does it.
Yeah, but he does have people guessing a ton.
No, he not really. If you listen to the man's words, if you listen to his words, he does it. It's us being speculators. He does exactly what he says.
He also doesn't give us straight answers a lot of times, though.
Well, he never gives straight answers.
Exactly.
He doesn't. But his answers are always data. And he's
but he also knows that like that literally the very tone of his and like you're talking about like not first level tone because like if you're like Yagobi's pissed off today, I'll be like the way I'm talking is like fuck man or oops. Can I say that?
No, that's fine. You can say it 3 times. I think
okay. And then that turned into a bird and fly away. No, but So like you can tell by my tone, but like for him, you got to really look into like the tone. Like they're like, oh, he was hawkish, and I'm like, what? Where did you get that from? And all of a sudden the price goes,
dude.
You know what I mean?
His
So
tone doesn't change. He's monotone, dude. He's the same guy.
So where
every
do they
meeting.
get? How did they determine if he was hawkish or
Because
like
he says a
words?
word or says a word differently, or he just imagine somebody listening to what you said, but Yagobi's bearish today, and you're like, what? He's like, I just said the same thing I said yesterday. Like, dude, I'm telling you, I think we think more into it than we have to because of the fact that he is the guy who controls a lot of the inflation rates, but he's just been a good dude. Like, I'm not even trying to like sugarcoat it. Like, he's done exactly what he says he's going to do.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, look, I do agree with one thing. He stands on business, meaning that like like if he's not easily manipulated, and I mean, as a Fed chair, you want that, even if you can't admit that like you want him to do something else because the markets, right? So I'll give him that credit. He does stand on business, and he's nowhere close to Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler's the worst.
No, yeah, it's your end. Yeah, no, not even close. But like he doesn't shock the markets either. He's either he does exactly what the markets expect every single time, right? So, Hydro Sapien says Tron is a scam. I think it used to be a scam. I don't think it is anymore. PumpFun, yeah, I think that is a scam. Hydro Sapien says anything except for Bitcoin is a scam. Okay, well now you're a Bitcoin maxi. I gotta skip. When someone comes in with that type of Bitcoin maxi, it's just like it's in one ear out the other for me. I don't know how you feel about that. Bitcoin maxis just turn me off.
Oh, the traditional maxi for sure. But like, Hydro Sapien likes dog and he likes Rune, so he's it's a different level, right?
But he just said that dog's a scam.
Not without saying he didn't mean dog. Right?
I know, but you gotta. I love Hydro Sapien. I'm not gonna say anymore, but Mogar the Great is here. What's up, Cryptonauts? My guy. Stan is here. Says Charles Hawkinson or Justin Sun for a used car salesman award. Thanks. Hawkinson. That's tough for me.
I mean, like used car salesman. I don't know. I feel like they couldn't sell cars. Yeah, I know. No. Like I get what he's trying to say, but it's like it's a different version of that. It's not like there's a couple of people you and I actually kind of joke in the background in the space that is straight up used car salesman.
Search stats.
Well,
no, just kidding.
No. But yeah. So Hawkinson and Son, they have that soft demeanor about them too, and like a used car salesman to me is like, hey, get over here. You know what I mean? That kind of personality.
A couple more comments here. Duke says dog. Hydro Sapien says dog is the one that's simple. Okay, so he kind of fixed his comment. Don't waste your time and money on anything but dog Bitcoin. All right, here we go. I hope and pray the internet stays up. Yeah, well, that would suck if it didn't stay up for a lot of different reasons. Hydro Sapien says Justin Sun and CZ are both convicted felons. Well, there's a lot of people that are convicted felons in this world, right? So, I mean, you got to remember what they did. Justin Sun's not a convicted felon.
I was about to say, is he?
No, he's not. CZ put in because of some finance stuff. He should get pardoned, honestly. Hydro Sapien says sell everything for dog and Bitcoin. And then Albert Amari says my bottom signal is when Chizzy loses all his money in crypto and applies for McDonald's. That's my signal to go all in. I'll come back in 2 years. That is funny.
Well, you got to watch the show to see if he's gonna come to work and
keep watching
in his McDonald's hat.
I'll rock one next week. I don't care. So Duke says Pizza Ninja. All right. And that wipes up your roll call for today. Appreciate a lot more comments than I expected. Shout out to you guys, man. But it's time to get to our next segment here. So every Tuesday we jump into about a good talk with our guys over at Artura. We talk about them every single day, right? They power the Bitcoin price action. These guys are absolutely awesome. They're building a Botanix right now. Botanix is live, guys, but they're going to be going live real soon. So we're going to talk to the team and kind of maybe get some updates and everything with them. So really excited to talk to them. Let's bring them up. Murion, Instant, guys, welcome to OnChain Revolution.
Yo, how's it going, guys?
Yeah. GM. It's going pretty well. You know, the Bitcoin price action is a little confusing right now. I'm trying my best to be disciplined and stay out of the market this week because I feel like the market makers are not trying to take it one way or the other. They're just really trying to jerk around. But you know, the thing is if you're a good scalp trader, this is probably good. But how are you guys doing? You guys have been busy, you know, obviously big things happening lately. But how do you feel about the market and how have things been going?
Yeah, the market is okay. Like you said, we've been playing around a bit now. I'm also not trading, just waiting in this range now, right now between the swing low at 107k and 110k. So yeah, I'm basically anticipating new all-time highs, but we'll maybe see like the sweep of that 107k just to get the liquidity in to like liquidate the late longers, and we are on to the new all-time highs, in my opinion, pretty soon.
Yeah,
You think
I'm
this
so
summer? I'm sorry.
Well,
there you
yeah,
go.
potentially, yeah, because like we are super aligned for that. We don't have like any huge disrespects to the downside for now. From what I'm observing, nothing is like coming to my mind to not do that.
Yeah.
But if
But
of course that can be like invalidated or something, that's why you always go with the scenario if then like if this happens then that and all that stuff, you know.
yeah,
Just
no, 100.
react,
percent
yeah.
So real quick, so Friday night I went down a rabbit hole. I was looking at a chart that has nothing to do with crypto. That chart is the DXY, right? So
Oh,
I discovered this, right? So I discovered that this is the weekly chart, by the way. So I discovered that in July of 2017 we broke below this 95. This line right here is about 95, a little bit over 95. Every single time we broke it, we did play back here. We did kind of glide with it, and nothing really happened in this time. But in 2017 July, we jumped below it, and we had the 2017 crypto bull run where Bitcoin ran to about 20,000 in about January, right? But this kind of shows that, and then we take it to 2021. So July of 2021. July of 2020, we had this giant red candle that dropped us below this 95. And then we had in December, we had about 6 months of an insane crypto bull run, right? Same thing though, the dollar was below this 95. So fast forward till today, where it does look like we're on our way back down there. And so my question for you is, if we do drop below this and kind of go down here, is that another crypto bull run? Is this kind of what we're all kind of expecting here, to kind of go and kind of see the next crypto bull run? Because it does show that, I mean, the timing again every 4 years.
yeah. Well, possible, but yeah, DXY is really, really bad currently. Like it's 85 cents of euro. I see that people are telling like we need to bill in euros now because we're losing money and all that. Yeah, people hate dollars. So I would also like suggest to invest always in the Bitcoin because fiat is a scam, like you can see. But yeah, I'm also seeing on the monthly chart that we are like pretty bearish currently on the DXY, and this week we actually swept the previous month low, which can give some hopes for the upside. We'll see how the daily candle closes right now, because we can potentially create displacement to the upside, which can like relieve something to the upside short term. We'll see about that like on the longer term, but in these days we'll see, because on the weekly chart we also had a fair value gap which should push the price lower. But today's daily close is really important for me. I'm also following DXY really
Yeah.
closely.
But how about this though? July of 2017, we had the candle smash down. This is the week of the 17th. Same thing here. It's the same candle. It's the same exact candle. Like it is for 5 years later to smash back through there. This pattern is exactly the same as well. And it's crazy that it happens in July, and potentially, it's kind of leading up for another one of those.
Well, hopefully, yeah, because we can actually retest those old levels, because we can see that history actually repeats itself from that chart.
Yeah, and it looks like also, if you look, you said it's the same pattern, but actually this one that we're in right now, you can see where the dollar was probably artificially propped up, because like starting in COVID, dude, it takes like a double like height. You see that? So this one matches 2017, like you said, that kind of local top. And then you go up here and it just freaking shot up because that hyperinflation of the dollar just shot up. And but so now it could kind of, shoot down aggressively, dude. So that's where that 500,000, 700,000 Bitcoin could come in if that happens. Obviously, saying 500,000, I think by the end of this year is pretty, that's really optimistic, I think. But maybe 250, and then next year it continues that.
But look at this though, right? Like this is the same thing right here, right? It's about the same. I mean, you take that to there. That means that this bull market can last November 2026.
Yeah,
I know, but you know how they said that this cycle was different, so we'll see about
it looks exactly the same when I look at the
DXY. I know, but like you drew like a big J, and you're like, look, it looks exactly the same.
No, but it does. Look at it though. Like, I mean, tell me I don't. I mean, tell me it doesn't.
It does. I guess you didn't intentionally mean for that to line up like that. So that.
No, I did. I really did, bro. I'm getting good at these little J. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's funny. But yeah. Really quick, I do have a question for you, Murion. But before I get into that, I want to ask Instant. So how are things like coming along? I know you guys, with the operations side, there's a lot of like. Pressure and stuff of just making sure that everything is perfect and stuff like that. But like, would love to hear some feedback on how things are rolling.
Yeah, things are good. I mean, it's very interesting being a builder in the space because once you think, you have everything perfect, there's always like something that comes out of left field and you have to tweak and adjust. And so, for those who are very excited for Artura to launch, we're just there. We have some last little bits that we're trying to optimize. We have a lot rolling out too. Even on like the Botanix front, they're just launching a incentive program. So continuing to have that like Bitcoin airdrop that they're doing for everyone that uses the chain. They're rolling out, different quests with all the different dApps. I think Palladium, who is one of our good partners, and you're able to use PSD on our platform. They're one of the first quests, so that you can earn BTC just by minting PUSD on Botanix. But then furthermore, we're going to have our own incentive quest coming out very soon, and you can actually earn real Bitcoin just for using our platform. But that's right around the corner. We're so close to being there. We're trying to hold off on all official announcements until we're officially live. So if it seems like we're a little quiet, just know that like we have our finger on the trigger and we're just waiting to pull it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want you to take as much time as you need because that rollout obviously needs to be smooth and stuff. And we know that you guys are pros with that. So we are looking forward to that for sure. And guys, for the audience, don't worry. We're going to be showcasing it. I'm going to be using the platform to kind of educate at least as much as I can. I'm a noob too. So you got to take that into consideration here. But I want to swing back to Murion because Murion said something about grabbing kind of sweeping the lows of the 107s in terms of liquidity. And I am starting to try to like really learn how to use this this liquidity heat map. Could you maybe explain a little bit here if you can see this? Can you see it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So for example, you can see the price right now of Bitcoin is at 108. Like 200, right? So in theory, when I look at this liquidity heat map, I'm going over here and I'm saying, okay, there's $35 million of long liquidations that could happen at 107.824. Above that, there's 16 million at 107.900. So in theory, logically, my brain says, okay, well, the market makers want to sweep all of this, because it's so close, because it's 107.900. You go all the way down. It doesn't really stop until you get to 107, pretty much 107,000 even. Yeah. But is that a bad mentality to have? Because it's closer here than it is up here to grab the short liquidity. Like, what's a good thought process to have for this?
Yeah. So, for example, now, if you want to go up to the upside like we all do, and I'm expecting also, we need to sweep that liquidity because that will fuel our push up. And that's our narrative. If we do that, if we sweep that liquidity, you can see that you can see the highs and lows. I'm not using the liquidity maps. I'm just looking at the highs and lows on the chart, monthly, weekly, and daily. Okay. That's what the most important liquidity levels are because there are high time frame charts, right? So I just need to see the sweep of that because that's the mark for me to enter the trade after I get the confirmation.
Gotcha.
Without that, I'm gonna be liquidity because I see that that is not swept. You just need to think in those terms.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, there's one saying: you either spot the liquidity or you're gonna be the liquidity. So
I don't want to be the liquidity.
you spotted that liquidity. You spotted that liquidity, and you just need to wait for it to be swept, and then you enter.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't spot that liquidity, you're gonna be the liquidity.
For sure. One thing I have noticed sometimes is the market makers will try to throw people off, though, right? For example, like if we're sitting in the middle here, and they're close to sweeping liquidity, sometimes they'll get close to it and then they'll make a big move up here. Do you see that happen too?
Yeah, but then you can like check
You
the
have to-
Ethereum chart because you can use the SMT, which is smart money divergence or something like that. I don't know. I
Gotcha.
don't know the exact term. Then maybe the Ethereum, if it's a weaker pair, it swept that low in this case, which means that we can go to the upside. And that's
Gotcha.
the term I use when I said that I'm trading the higher, the stronger or the weaker pair. So BTC might be stronger, and there's not like the weakness to swap that low, and Ethereum might be the weaker, and it swaps this low, and you just see on the chart.
Yeah.
We just compare those two. You can see like which one has the cleanest price action at those time frames, and in the current like order flow, which can also help. It's pretty easy actually.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So my next question is instant. So I bridged into Botanix, just trying to like mess around with the chain, trying to learn my way. I do have to wait 19 blocks for my Bitcoin, but I did send my Bitcoin. Yeah, it's a few hours, but it's not that big of a deal. So I did send my Bitcoin from my Bitcoin wallet, which was a Unisat, over to the Botanix thing. So I just copied this and sent that over there. And just a few bucks. Like I sent $9 and $6, right? So and when this was up, I'm able to claim and stuff like that. So I am getting over there and getting ready. I'm curious, have you guys been playing on Botanix and kind of getting the feel for it? Because I know you guys are building there, but the chain also. I'm just curious what your opinion is on the chain so far.
Yeah, actually, I'm like really impressed with how it is so far. Kind of like I said, I think the biggest hiccup to I think a lot of L2s and maybe Botanix in particular that might prevent people from trying is just like that bridging aspect. I feel like it's a little bit of a minor inconvenience, but if you bridge before, it's not really like a big deal. It does take a little while because like of course like Botanix does like run on Bitcoin. But once you get over that, I mean, it's really no different than any other like EVM, any other chain like that. Everything's like really quick. Yeah, I think all the dApps are going to be launching periodically, so there's more to come, like NFT marketplaces, like I said, like DEXs, different ways in which to generate yield on Bitcoin, things like that, and obviously we're going to be launching soon too. So if you're on the 2100 campaign, bridge some Bitcoin over. It'll take mine took like about like an hour and a half or 2 hours to get over there. So, definitely would move ahead and get that started if you're planning on using it. But, if you go on the Citadel and you have like a referral code, there's, you can literally just spin a wheel to earn like free Bitcoin. I've been mostly, getting kind of, haven't had the best luck on the spinning wheel, but it is pretty fun to use actually, fingers crossed for the, yeah, well, you don't have any Bitcoin in there, yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my Bitcoin to get over so I can spin the damn wheel.
It's really fast. Like, yeah, once you get the Bitcoin over there, it's like it totally opens up. We'll be on there soon, and if you go and explore, if you go out to the Shizzy to the main homepage of the 2100, if you X out and go out to like the little town, on the spinning wheel.
There it is.
X out of all of this. Yeah, so there's actually a bunch of little Easter eggs in here. Like you can see, like if you move around the town, there's like the apps. There's like a prison in there, and like Sam Bankman or whatever is in like a little prison.
Can you make a call to him? Like a legit call?
That'd be very funny.
He randomly followed me. And he's in prison, and his Twitter account randomly followed.
I don't know. Is that bullish or bearish? I'm not
I don't know, dude.
Dude,
I
you're
was
under
like,
surveillance now, bro.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's like like some famous Bitcoin like pubs and events. There's the pizza shop on the bottom left corner, like where the first pizza was paid. So there's a little bit of history.
Nice, yeah.
I think there's a bunch of Easter eggs, and there's like all the dApps are deployed here. I think we're like a chest in there. We're chest building. So yeah, definitely like bring some Bitcoin over there and just like start clicking around and playing around with things. Like it's really fast once you get on chain. It's no different than using ETH or Arbitrum or like some of these other L2s. So yeah, it's a good time. Lots of upside.
Is it me or is this the Simpsons house? Because it looks exactly like the Simpsons.
You know what? Whoever their artist was might have been drawing some inspiration.
Yeah,
gotcha.
True. Pretty cool. They intertwined the Bitcoin culture. You know, like Shizzy and I have been to Pub Key, which is a famous Bitcoin bar.
I think that's in here. They reference it in the town.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, in Manhattan, and I mean that's like the Bitcoin bar. And then you got the Wizards in there, the Magic Internet Money billboard there, and stuff like that. So pretty cool, man. I like it.
Yeah, this is different than what we've seen, right? We see a lot of changes, launches, and they just don't do anything different. This is a really cool idea, and I absolutely love what Botanix has done with this. I mean, it's really cool. I'm really excited to kind of get this Bitcoin over here and really start being able to play for the first time and kind of start messing around with the spider chain, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're called the spider chain for a reason.
Yeah, and I will say too that like, you know, it's Mina just launched for them. Like they don't even have all the dApps up, like us included. So like it's only going to get better as things move on. There's going to be more to do probably within the next several weeks. So I think there's going to be a lot more use cases as well. So definitely check back like periodically, bridge over, you know, for everybody in the chat, check it out. And then, you know, I'll just come back and see like what's available because there's going to be new things launching all the time.
Yeah, 100%. I just feel bad for this car. He just doesn't know where to go. He's just kind of going down the stage for a few hours now.
He's glitching.
Really cool. He's glitching out. No. It's really cool. So I was wondering if you guys give us some updates on Artura. Anything we can look forward to in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Obviously, mainnet launches. If you trade on the first 7 days of the platform, you're going to be automatically given a whitelist for our VIP pass, which is going to have booster, multipliers for our points program for XP. Exactly. So, you know, I think the big thing that we're pushing is that, like, you know, the earlier that you use the platform, the better our incentives are going to be. Whether that, you know, that's in our vaults for yield wise or XP wise and trading. So the earlier that you use us is going to be much better. And I'm going to have more to announce on our Twitter. So definitely keep that updated once we start rolling out more announcements.
Awesome. All right. My last question for Murion. CPI next week. Do you feel like that's going to be a big event or not too much weight on that?
CPI is usually a big event these last few months. CPI and FOMC is not too much currently these days, but CPI, it's a pretty good one. So I'm expecting it, and we'll see what we can do on that. Can we gamble something, some evil source? We'll see.
So I have one question for you, Murion. So last week, I think, in my opinion, I'd love to get your opinion on this. I think we saw the most manipulated thing ever happen to the jobs numbers. So the day, I think it was Wednesday, came out, the private sector was negative 33,000 jobs. The very next day, the public sector, the government sector, was plus 133,000 jobs. Yeah. Have you seen that before? And that was manipulated, right? It had to be. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, because it's all a mind's game. Because just look at the daily chart on the BTC, you can see those moves like everywhere, like big down followed by big upside. Just see this range, and you can see like there's a few examples, like it was on the Wednesday last week.
Yeah. So this is the weekly. Let me go to the daily
common.
Here.
It's pretty common.
It's pretty common to see the jobs number like that. Like
no, just the price section. Those numbers,
okay.
Those news will just fuel the price to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Because
so are you agreeing with Shizzy though that like you think that the administration made those numbers up to make the price go up?
Definitely.
Confirmation. There you go.
Confirmation. That's all. I thought I was crazy for a second. I'm sitting there, I'm like, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. Like, what is going on? I made a video about it and all.
You guys should have saw him that day. He was like pre-show. I was like, you all right, bro? You all right?
I'm not crazy, so there's lots of stuff to see there.
Yeah.
Oh man, but this has been absolutely awesome, guys. Really appreciate your time, and I know our audience appreciates it too. But I'd love to give you guys a stage one last time to maybe say some last words. We'll start with you, Instant.
Yeah, definitely. Just check out, follow us on our Twitter and join our Discord. We're having weekly games and events, and we're giving away some awesome things there. So our Discord's the place to be.
Yeah, check them out, guys. I'll actually show it real quickly. It's at Artura.finance. Make sure you guys are looking right here, and then your Discord is right there. Click the Discord, and that'll take you to it, and you guys can sign in and do all that stuff there. Definitely check that out. And Murion, any last words, buddy?
Yeah, so I just want to say, you know how people say, I'm too late to this and all that stuff, like you missed anything. Now we gave you info with Artura. You can be early. You just need to log in on that and make the most out of it. So I'm suggesting you to log in really on Artura, and it's going to be a pretty good experience and rewards.
100%, man. Guys, go join their Discord and lock the F in, guys. Both of you guys, absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
All right. See you later.
Next week. Absolutely awesome, as always. Those guys are phenomenal, man. Really cool to have them on every single week.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool to trade Dog to the Moon once they have those Bitcoin fungibles up too, because I think it could be on ramped whenever things start to really heat up later this year, and responsibly, of course, responsibly. I'm talking to myself, by the way.
Listen to what he just said, though, right? He said, the first week of playing on the thing. I mean, just like I bridged in $12. That's all you need to do. You don't got to go crazy.
Yeah.
Right, get on there, do a couple of dollars worth of trading. There's no reason not to, and you can send it right from a Unisat wallet, like I did. And it does take 19 blocks, but do it and then go walk your dog and then come back, right? And then or go play with your kids.
Right? walk your dog to the neighboring city. No, just kidding.
2 hours? Really? Is that normal for people to walk their dogs or no?
No,
my sister will walk her dog for like 2 hours.
I'll just mess around. I'll just say like 19 blocks. It's funny. You could bridge in wrapped Bitcoin a lot quicker. By the way, guys, that's not the only way you can do it. You could do it through Stargate, I believe, bridge, which would be a lot quicker.
Finance,
but if you're gonna do it from native Bitcoin, this is the way.
Yeah, so all you guys got to go do is go up to 2100. Let me actually show it one more time. It's 2800 a Bitcoin World, 2100 a Bitcoin World.com, and you can come here and then you hit the bridge, right, just like I did, and you'll sign in with your wallet there. I'll confirm it, and then this comes up, and then you'll just take this address here, copy deposit address. You'll copy that address, and then I went to my Unisat wallet. I just sent the $9 and the $6. So I want to have $15 there, and I just sent that in. And and then now I'm able to, when the time comes, come over here and I'll go to the Citadel, and potentially I can turn my $15. I mean, there's some big prizes on this wheel. I mean, 1 million sats, bro, that's like $1,000, like if you're able to hit that. So that's pretty big.
So what about 10 million sats?
I mean, I don't ever look at the giant prize and say that's possible, because that's probably not possible. I look at the second prize and say, that'd be cool. But it's probably going to be super hard. But hey, who knows, right? That's going to keep you coming back. If you win one of those, you can be like, Botanix, baby. But
yeah,
we'll see. I do have a few more topics if that's cool. All right. Let's see. So, okay. So CryptoQuant says ERC20 stablecoin supply hits an all-time high at 121 billion, a strong signal of renewed demand and liquidity. So ERC20 stablecoins, meaning Ethereum, Arbitrum, Base, so on, Polygon, Matic, it all added up at 121 billion. We've never had more stablecoins on EVM as much as we have today.
Yeah, I mean, if they like. Well, I guess these ones like on Ink Network and stuff, would they be considered ERC20? Because they're kind of like I guess they will, right? So that's just going to continually grow. Yeah.
So, and EVM, one thing about EVM is you can pretty much within one Ethereum block, you can go from Botanix potentially to Ethereum to, from Ethereum to Arbitrum, Matic. So the ERC20 bridges are really quickly. So you can just kind of go wherever you need to go, which is awesome. I remember back in the day, it took like forever. It took like 30, 40 minutes to bridge from Ethereum to Arbitrum or Ethereum.
What was it?
somewhere else.
Multi-bridge? Multi-bridge was one of the popular ones.
Ooh, don't say that one.
I said they were one of the more popular ones.
that just registered in my head. I was like, I lost money with that one. I had Ethereum, multi-bridge Ethereum on Phantom, a couple of them, and they went to 0. So I don't want to talk about that, but yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. Coinbase exec Conor Grogan says about most PumpFun and LetsBonk tokens are from bots on an average now, one every 3 minutes. So these bots are programmed to create one coin every 3 minutes. I didn't know this, but Coinbase is looking into this and basically saying they're not listing. They won't list any token that is basically brought in from a bot, and they're checking on them.
Good. It should be that way. And I mean, well, the bots also, you got to remember that there's like a strategy of creating revenue for pump and dumps. Literally, like, like there's people in different countries and probably some in the US. I mean, if you're making, $800 to, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a day by being able to just constantly launch tokens and getting people sucked into these good idea tokens and all these things or whatever, and you're just making money, then that's gonna happen. And then also the ones that seem to have success definitely seem very coordinated. I don't know. I really like that they're looking into stuff like this, and I hope it happens more. They go deeper and deeper, and this is good because before they weren't really doing as much due diligence as they should have, and basically they were all centralized exchanges were on listing sprees early this year, very early this year, late last year, because they were like, oh, this is going to like 500 million, it's going to 200 million, it's going to 100 million, got to get it on, and it just got so saturated. And like, what does it mean to get listed anymore?
Nothing. I don't want to get listed. Like, I'm in the camp, like, I don't want to get it, because what happens when they get listed is it's easy dump. I mean, look at all the tokens that launched earlier this year on all these different places. They all dumped 90%, right? So that really caused everything else to dump as well. All right, so Tom Lee, the new crown CEO of Bit Digital, is putting his money where his mouth is here. He came out on CNBC last week and said that he's going all in on Ethereum, and the company had held about $200 million of Bitcoin, sold it all, and bought the entire thing of Ethereum. So they had $54 million in Ethereum. Now they have $254 million in Ethereum, and they're going to be staking this Ethereum as well, earning that 6% yield on the Ethereum blockchain. But Tom Lee, man, he's not someone that messes around. First thing he does when as CEO.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around. That's a big statement too. I mean, they sold. He did forecast this, or said that this is what they were going to do. But at the same time, I mean, he stepped up and did it, and this is what his thesis is. And the guy's usually not very wrong. And
not at all.
If he is wrong, it's just basically just time, a little bit of like time, that he might be off in terms of like Bitcoin's price hitting. But he's gotten. They bring him on that show for a reason, and they keep bringing him on because he's pretty accurate.
Yeah, 100%. And he's been going on there since what, 2016, 2017, talking about Bitcoin at like
they laughed at him. They laughed at him. Remember? They laughed at him.
He's laughing now.
Like we talked about this before, but he's the type of person that doesn't really like hold a grudge real quick, or like you and I sometimes we're in the wrong like mood. Someone laughs at us, we'll be like, "What are you laughing at?" But he was just like, "I'm serious. Like it's going to get there." All right, and then they're like, "Okay, whatever," and that happened. And now he's saying that, I don't know. That makes me want to buy ETH.
I know. I'm in the same boat, dude. I'm so bullish on Ethereum right now. I think ETH hits an all-time high, though, December 20th of 2025. I think that'll be the $4,800 Ethereum. And then in January, I think Ethereum hits about $8,000. And then I think it tops out around $6,000. So my price is dropping a little bit. I'm now at like $16,000 Ethereum high for the cycle.
That would be a sight to see. I know like it's possible, but it's just seeing it there would be pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it will be. I think Ethereum gets to 100 grand next cycle, but we'll see. Ethereum Community Foundation. So I did some work here after seeing this. So when I originally saw this, I thought this was the Ethereum Foundation. So this is the Ethereum Community Foundation launched Push Ethereum to 10K campaign by funding the ecosystem growth and burns. So the ECF, the Ethereum Community Foundation, was just launched by core developer Zach Cole to push Ethereum toward 10,000 via targeted grants, burn-driven projects, and public goods. So what Zach Cole is doing here, he's taking in grants from Ethereum whales and saying, hey, you donate money to this cause, I'm going to I'm going to create things that burn Ethereum, which means they're going to push transactions, and the fees are what is burned. They're going to try to jack up the fees here to kind of burn some Ethereum away, all through a foundation that is taking in grants. How do you feel about this?
Do you think that like the institutions that do transactions on Ethereum currently are going to like this though? I mean, fees are finally, but if they don't, then you can say take your business to an L2 or something, right?
Go to Coinbase. It's the same thing. Go to Base. Go to Arbitrum. Go to Robinhood. But the people that do transaction on Ethereum, they're huge money. They're just huge. They're like
as long as they're not doing a lot of volume, it'll be okay.
They're doing a lot of volume, but just one transaction. That's the thing, right? If you're moving around $100 million, you don't care about paying $3, do you?
$3,
No.
but won't the gas jack up if the volume increases?
Well, right now it's 30 cents, so I'm 10xing it from right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I just
it'll never be how it was before, because now we have Solana, we have Arbitrum.
Well, and plus we didn't have what we had back then, and it's more efficient now. But
yeah,
but I'm going back to like 2023 early, whenever Pepe was, it did get up to like $60. If you remember, it was like 40 to 60 when it was like really high volume on chain. But again, I don't think they'll care about that. But also, is it correlated to the amount that you're doing? Because I feel like
one transaction is one transaction. Doesn't matter the amount of ETH in that transaction. So if you move 1 million ETH, doesn't matter. It's going to cost you the same price as moving 1 ETH. So that's the thing. Even those guys, do you think they care about $60 when they're moving $100 million and moving $60 million? They don't care.
Yeah.
All right, moving along here. Inky. So you actually made a post about this morning. Short. Inky is Kraken's swipe style mobile app. So think Slingshot, think Moonshot for discovering and trading crypto. Swipe through a meme-driven feed, earn points, trade fee-free cross-chain, and find your next moon all on your phone. So Kraken has built. It feels like Kraken's going ape shit right now. They really are. I mean, they got Ink Chain. Now they got Inky, which is coming at Slingshot. You got the Ink Chain that's coming at Base. You got Kraken Exchange that's competing with Coinbase and Crypto.com. And now you have, this is huge. I feel like Kraken is I mean, they turned up their game, dude. 100x right now.
Yeah, they're laying all their chips out there because they've been suppressed. I feel like because they've been caught up in SEC basically terrorizing them, and not making them feel like they're in a free market. And so that I posted an article today about it, I think Kraken is going to be this cycle's centralized exchange that is going to be like the golden child of the cycle. And so they have a lot of opportunity. I think they have like a good energy, kind of like, they can reach out to like the younger generations with their branding. They're big on like trying to, onboard rooms and stuff like that. So they're different. And I think they need to keep doing what they're doing, keep doubling down, tripling down. Look, I hate that I have to bring up FTX because they were the ones that were in the spotlight last cycle, but until the mess ups and stuff like that, they were thriving. Right up until those mess ups, and there's more of management issues that trickle down that caused their collapse. Right? I don't think Kraken has that same issue.
Well, think about what collapsed though. It wasn't FTX that collapsed. It was Alameda. Alameda caused the collapse of FTX. If FTX and Alameda were two different companies, Alameda wouldn't have been able to go into the back end and siphon money from users. Right? It was all Alameda. That is the reason why FTX failed. It wasn't FTX itself. FTX was making more money hand over fist. They were keeping Alameda, afloat, right? But that was the problem.
Yeah, but it comes down to the leadership, though. It comes down to Sam Bankman-Fried delegating whatever her name is to be in charge with Alameda, and that being a cycle. Yeah, I mean, like greed ultimately is what did it, because they were like they're using house money to trade against like the market, which they had a lot of manipulation with in the first place, but they still kept losing.
Well, that's 100% it. She was a terrible trader. She was, I mean, she was amazing in a bull run, like most people are, and insanely bad in a bear market, like everyone who's good in a bull market is, right? Because in a bull market, in order to make them the most money, you need to take a lot of chances. In the bear market, to keep your money, you got to take no chances. And she just took her strategy that was working and tried it in 2022 and she failed. And she needed more money to kind of make it. It was one of those things where it's like you go to the ATM because you just lost all your money at the casino. So you're going to the ATM, you're taking more cash out, but you're like, hey, I'm going to double this up and I'm going to leave and put my money back and leave. But then you lose that too. And
or you win, or you do double it up and you're like, I'm feeling it. You're like,
I mean, or that.
You're like 5 more minutes. Yeah. No, just kidding.
I mean, dude, that's basically what she did though. Moving along here, ReserveOne to list on Nasdaq via $1 billion merger deal, managing a Bitcoin-led crypto portfolio, including Ethereum and SOL. It's a SPAC deal. M3 acquisition V Corp is a blank check vehicle merging with the ReserveOne so that a combined company can list on a Nasdaq. So this is another. All they're doing is holding crypto. Like, this is a new company that is on the stock market, and by investing in this company, you get exposure to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Again, this is something we've been seeing a lot, dude. There's an insane amount of companies that their only thing they do is hold crypto.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see more and more of that. I really think we're going to see more and more of that. In these index funds coming out and stuff like that, and I know we've talked about it a little bit already on the show the past couple of weeks, but in the future, in the far future, let's say the far future, let's say we've kind of hit some milestones in our personal lives with crypto, right? Like, we're sitting nice. Would you ever see yourself like having a safe kind of portfolio with stuff like that?
My safe portfolio is Bitcoin.
So no index fund, just Bitcoin.
Just Bitcoin.
Makes sense. So Hydro Sapiens, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, Bitcoin, if you're asking me whether I go into the S&P 500 or like MicroStrategy or something, I think Bitcoin's is risk off, right? I think holding something like MicroStrategy, because I'm trusting someone with my funds, right? So that's the only reason why I wouldn't do that, because I don't want to trust. I like self-custody. I'd get a hardware wallet, take the Bitcoin hardware wallet. I know that Bitcoin is safe unless somebody has a gun. Right. I mean, at that point, right? So that's the one way. That's the only way they're going to be able to take that crypto from you, right? But at that point, you should probably have a big guy, security guy. But I mean, if you have that much Bitcoin at all times, but yeah. All right, move along here because I don't know where that was going. But FluidTokens on Bitcoin, we officially deploy liquidity for the FLDT dot swap. So this is something that I was paying attention to. So the Fluid, obviously a partner of ours, we know that they were talking at DotSwap about this. This has been in the making for weeks now, but they've officially, they airdropped everyone who staked the passes, me included. They airdropped me FLDT Rune. That was sitting there. It had really no liquidity yet, but they officially added liquidity to DotSwap. So right now, you guys can go and you do see there is some swaps already. It's kind of people selling their airdrop. Right now, it's about 15 cents. But listen, if you go to Coinmarket, for instance, right, you go to FLDT, it's trading at 18 cents. So for me, I'm kind of hoping you guys go and sell your airdrop because I want to pick this up cheap, right? It's at 18 cents here on DotSwap. This thing is 15 cents. We do know that they are going to be opening a bridge. It's going to be a custodian bridge. Fluid is going to be that custodian. So you're going to be able to bridge your Rune into Cardano or bridge your Cardano token into Rune. So I'm kind of waiting for this to kind of get separated a little further. And then I'm going to be getting into this as an arbitrage trade to kind of get that 3 cents on each token when that bridge opens, because it's stupid not to. But I'm paying attention to this right now. And if you guys have any more Fluid that you want to drop, DotSwap is instant. It'll take you 1 Bitcoin block. I say instant, but I mean 1 Bitcoin block. And you guys can trade your Rune there for Bitcoin if you wanted to. So that is the pool. Go up the pools and you can kind of see top pools, how much liquidity is in there, and its official Fluid is right there. It has about $18,000 in liquidity.
Yep. And it's just a start, right? But I mean, how exciting is this to be able to have like a Cardano token be able to bridge in and out of Bitcoin? I know that the bridge isn't ready yet, but it's going to be. This team is going to be like building this product that other projects are going to use too. There's multiple builders over here that build on Cardano and Bitcoin. But like it's cool because like you never saw this in previous cycles with Bitcoin ecosystem. Like you have other tokens that are not native here coming here and vice versa. This is going to be a big cycle for Bitcoin ecosystem,
Yeah.
Bitcoin 5, Bitcoin DeFi. I'm telling you guys, just keep paying attention. Don't trust me, verify. Just pay attention to the show, pay attention to all the details, and you go check it out. By Q4 this year, I guarantee you're going to see some crazy stuff over here. And most of the crypto space, they're sleeping. But you won't be. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And that's one thing I've noticed too. There isn't many people on crypto Twitter, whether they're on vacation or whatever. It just a few people. And I remember hearing this in 2020. When I first got into crypto, August 2020, people were saying like, you got so lucky because you missed the entire bear market. You didn't have to deal with the stuff that we had to deal with. But at the time I was like, yeah, I'm lucky because I wrote up that bull run. I got it in August. The bull run was absolutely insane. But then, I didn't have the experience this bear market that they had now, right? I had to go through all their trials and tribulations that they already went through. And because they probably sit pretty this bear market because they knew what to expect. I had no idea what to expect, right? I had to deal with all. But next bear market, I'm going to know exactly what to do and mainly what not to do. Right. So when people are going to be getting in these next couple months in August and September, they're going to have a bull market of absolutely insanity. Right. But they're not going to know what to do when a bear market hits. You guys who've been here this entire time know exactly what to do. We're going to make out the best because we are experienced now of what not to do. And that's kind of the biggest problem.
What's the biggest one thing that I think both of us would probably answer the same, but like the one thing that you're gonna remember for the next bear market?
Stop making so many damn moves. Just stop. You don't need to find 100x every single time. Like for me, it was
the bear market.
Like I did. I mean, I thought Zen was going to be 100x. I thought Titan X was going to be 100x. I was getting into stuff. I mean, we got into track, right? It did like 30, 40x. But the best thing to do, honestly, is
stack sats. Well, I think it's the stack sats. I think that's what it is. It's to get in those plays, but you get into them for a short term to stack more sats. That's the people that won big in 2023 and 2024.
But again, that's moving too much, right? Like for me, what I want to do, I want to just DCA in the projects. I obviously find money outside of crypto for your job or whatever, and just DCA, but just don't sell those bags. If I would have just held on to everything that I hold, yeah, I probably would have wrote a lot of things up and down. But for coming into this next bull market, I'd probably be very happy. For me, it would just be like, don't make so many, and don't get in so many low cap stuff. Getting to some high cap. If I would have just DCA'd Ethereum this whole time, or DCA'd Bitcoin, or DCA'd Solana, I would be in a really good shape right now.
Maybe Solana, but my point that I'm making is I think you would be happy if you like every project that you got into in 2023, 2024, you once it got like up to a certain point, you turned it into sats and you kept doing that. And then you had all this Bitcoin for waiting for the alt season we're still waiting on now. But it's not easy to do that, by the way. I'm not saying
hard. That's really hard.
But they're the people that did do it, they thrived.
Yeah, but the people that rode that up, like guys who got in sats, right? Like Block, for instance, he got in sats super early, but still holding that bag, right? I mean, yeah, it could be good, but at the same time, no, he's still in sats heavy. But it's I mean, his tweets seem that way anyway. But I'm just saying, like, it's just like a lot of people they'd ride that up, but in a bear market, it's best to just get in blue chips. Like, so for now, like right when we start entering, when the DXY drops below that 95, I think that is the time to start looking for those 100x's, 120x's. But when the DXY kind of goes back up and the bull market's over, that is time to just stay in the blue chips. Stay in the blue chips. Bitcoin is
2023 was definitely unique, though. It was a market that no one expected.
It was a different.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so no one strived except the Bitcoin ecosystem, but that's because it was brand new. Right, it was brand new. It never had anything. Right, it was something brand new. If you can find those, and that's the thing too. Look for those those ecosystems that are just popping up that are brand new that you can put a few bucks in and make a lot of money. But for me, my advice to answer your question, would just be DCA, the blue chips.
Yeah.
But Fluid did have one last thing here. They had a post. They said, "You're not bullish enough." I do love that line. This is the first unstaking transaction for an Alkane. 10 methane were unstaked for 10 dog were received as a reward within one single transaction. We're allowing full staking logic for Alkane's stake, unstake, and reward directly on Bitcoin. Coming soon to FluidTokens. So this is the transaction here. They unstaked methane. They got a bunch of dog, and they got their methane back. Absolutely awesome. FluidTokens, man, really, really pushing things forward here.
They are pushing things forward, and they have been the entire time. Like whenever something new comes out, they're always like attracted to it and say, "Hey, let's kind of help with the innovation over here." So shout out to that team because Raul and his 100%. Team, they know what they're doing.
Yep. And then Stan says, in the guest opinion, why haven't project? Oh, sorry, man, I missed this. Towards hardware as a equalizer for the masses to meet their knowledge base. What was he saying?
He's talking about like why aren't more projects and chains releasing like tangible products like the Solana phone, and I guess Sui released some sort of hardware product too. So there's like some sort of I guess like interaction opportunity maybe for like new people. You know what I mean? It makes sense, but at the same time, like how many people really use a Solana phone?
I don't want no damn Solana phone. I don't want no Sui hardware.
I mean, I think it's an opportunity for people to try it, but like even us that have been in this space for a while, like not once have I heard you say, "Hey, yo, you gonna get the Solana new phone, the new Solana phone, or whatever like that?" You know, so
yeah,
I think maybe diehard Solana people buy it.
Yeah, I did say, you're gonna get this Jade hardware wallet. It's dope.
That's different.
We both got the Jade hardware wallet.
Well, that's like that's a storage of your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's totally different, I feel like. But hey, I'm not knocking it. I think that you like the product has to be so good that it's forcing people to use it if it's a Web3 100%. Product. You know what I mean? Then you're like, it will take care of itself at that point. You know what I mean? And nothing has, from a hardware standpoint, come out for that, right?
You know what just popped in my head?
What?
The Rockaphone.
Or
remember that?
What about the Bitboy? Which to me, I'm like, but I'm like, if you're been, could you have sued them for making the? Yeah, I don't know if he had that name registered, but that was weird too.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, he should have registered it. I mean, that's a good question. Yeah. I don't think he even knows about it. But that is our show today, guys. Really. Oh, we got Nils from Twitch. Shout out to Nils. Thank you so much for being here today. But that is our show here, guys. We got 200 and why is this banner coming up? So we got 234 people with us today. I appreciate every single one of you guys. It means so much to us. And that is just on YouTube and X, not to mention everyone on Twitch, Abstract, Rumble, Kick, and so many other places. Spotify will be uploaded later. Our Spotify's picked up a lot. I don't know why. I got like last Friday's stream got like over 100 listens, which is crazy for Spotify. But shout out to everyone who listens over there as well. But that is the show, guys.
Yep. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. As always, without you guys, we couldn't do this. And without our partners, we couldn't do it as well. As they're kind of the second half of what allows us to do this each and every day. You know, believe us, we love, I believe me when I say we love to do this. This is our passion. But if you could check out our partners, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for runes like Dog Go to the Moon, you got to do it at satsterminal.com. Why? Because you can earn Amber points. What are Amber points? Amber points are XP type points that are going to go towards some alpha, give back to early adopters of satsterminal.com, right? This team, you know, they built this aggregator. So you got to think of something like 1 inch from the Ethereum world, early days on the Bitcoin side, but they're going to be offering more than what 1 inch offers. So, you know, they're going to have a lot, like a product suite, a suite of products that you guys are going to be able to utilize. But look, they're going to find the most liquid ticket tokens, the best pricing for you in terms of runes, dog, $1 billion cat, you know, magic internet money, all those popular runes are there. And they also support Alkanes as well. So make sure you swap your Alkanes there as well. And they're going to have some, you know, updates for you guys tomorrow once they come on for the segment. But you can swap for Methane. You can swap for Alchemist, all the popular Alkanes there. Head over to satsterminal.com. Earn those Amber points. Don't, pass up that opportunity. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace of the Bitcoin ecosystem. All you need is a Bitcoin wallet, some Bitcoin, and 6 Bitcoin blocks, and you can start placing bets in their blitz markets. Their blitz markets are 10-minute markets that have a continuous countdown for you guys to select Bitcoin, BNB, or Solana, and you can pick if it goes up or down, and you get an additional 10 minutes to see if you were right or wrong there. You're going to be able to create your own custom markets as well in the near future and earn 1.5% of the total volume being placed in your markets, and you can earn 1% of your referral volume as well. Head over to betbtc.win, dive into their docs, and join their community today. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to jump your ordinals, your Bitcoin NFTs like Rare Pepes from Bitcoin Layer 1 to Ethereum. Right now, you can actually take your Taproot Wizards over there, and you can get a loan out against one of your Taproot Wizards on the Gandhi platform, which is the largest borrowing and lending NFT platform on Ethereum. You're going to be able to do this eventually on other EVM chains as well, like Base, Abstract, possibly Merlin chain, and for sure, eventually Solana as well. And if you do choose to use Solana, you can actually eventually use the AI agent Hustle to help you vault these items. They're going to be adding the Bitcoin tech stack to Hustle, but right now you can actually use Hustle to help you get through the jungles of Solana. Solana is not an easy place to trade, but Hustle is an assistant and can give you valuable information. If you ask Hustle, hey, give me a couple, say 5x tokens to possibly, buy into, and then Hustle will give you a couple options and give you some reasons why he thinks that they're good selections, right? And then in the future, as I mentioned, they're going to be adding different environments, different tech stacks. One of them is going to be Bitcoin, right? So really exciting stuff, guys. If you were into the Tensor token, you actually need to migrate that. You got a couple days left. I think you might have like 5 days left around there. No, actually 4 days left.
7 days. 7 days, 12 hours, and 6 minutes.
Oh, sorry. 7 days. Sorry, I didn't see that count. I thought that said July 12th. Okay, so 7 days left. So you need to transfer it from the Tensor token to the Hustle token. It's a really simple process. You can check out our video library and you can see the tutorial there. It's at migrate.fund. Check that out. And don't forget they have a TGE for their Bitcoin Rune, which is going to be the parent token for their entire Emblem Vault company. You can go to OpenSea right now and search Founder Vaults, and you can purchase a pre-sale of NFT that will get you into the TGE. And once the TGE comes around September, October of this year, you'll get instructions on how to get access to the Bitcoin wallet that's going to be assigned to your Ethereum address. Really interesting stuff the way they did it. Check that out. Head over to emblem.vision. You can learn all about it there. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin fungible tokens eventually, like Doggo to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, 40 sats, tokens like that, and maybe other ones if other meta protocols get popular like Alkanes. But you're also going to be able to trade popular tokens outside the ecosystem like XRP, Ethereum, Tau, and of course, Bitcoin is going to be available for trading there. They will be launching very soon on Botanix, as you heard directly from the key contributors today. You make sure you're taking advantage of earning points on both sides, the Botanix side and the Artura side. They're also going to be launching on Hemi Bitcoin Layer 2 soon, shortly after the Botanix launch, which is a Layer 2 that's backed by Binance. So make sure that you're diving into all the information and documentation on their website. Join their Discord. They have some really cool experienced traders there that are willing to, kind of grow their own communities. You can be a part of their individual communities and get tips and tricks from them. Head over to Artura.finance today. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet for Cardano and Bitcoin. They built on both chains there. And if you have an Apple iPhone, you can go to the Apple App Store. If you have a Android, you can go to the Google Play Store. You can download the apps there. But they are building for both ecosystems, and they're going to be adding the Sui ecosystem in the near future. You can actually swap directly in the app for runes like Doggo to the Moon. As they partnered with Sats Terminal. You can also swap for Cardano tokens as they partnered with Dex Hunter on the Cardano side. And they're going to have options for the Sui side as very, very soon, as soon as they have activated that for mainnet. But make sure you're following them on X so you can follow their updates. And you can actually find us on there. There's a little alpha section there. They're trying to build for the best UI UX. Head over to Tokyo.io to learn more there. And then FluidTokens, I skipped over them, but I'm back to them now. FluidTokens also built on Cardano and Bitcoin. On the Cardano side, if you are from the Cardano ecosystem, you can actually participate by adding liquidity for gas, because basically on the Cardano side, they created the Aquarium platform that allows you to use tokens other than ADA for gas. And if you provide that liquidity, you can earn Babel fees. Really interesting concept there. On the Bitcoin side, you can actually utilize their staking vaults. They were the first to offer retail staking vaults to the public there. They went through a season 1 and season 2 of Dog Go to the Moon. But season 3, as you heard Shizzy earlier, they're preparing a stake alkanes to earn Dog and stake Dog to earn alkane. So it's really cool that they're, meshing this meta protocol synergy on Bitcoin. If anybody was going to do it, I expect them to do it because they have that experience there. But if you want to get a staking vault started for your community, head over to their Discord. They have a team waiting to answer any of your questions regarding staking vaults. So also last thing here on the Bitcoin side, if you are a builder, you can utilize their airdrop tool. You can airdrop runes or alkanes to your community. It's really simple. There's 2 options. One, you have a CSV file that's prepared by you with all the addresses. You can upload it directly there, or you can do it manually one by one. It's really simple. And it's cost efficient and very fast. Shizzy and I tested this out for them. It's really awesome what they created there. Head over to fluidtokens.com to learn more all about both sides of what they offer on Cardano and Bitcoin. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin's strength with the power of AI. You can utilize their AI Wizard 0.3 version, which allows you to do DeFi functions like swap and stake, but their version 4 is going to be coming out soon, and that one's going to have all the alpha that you can actually question and ask questions to Wizard about other chains, like what's the most popular tokens in the past 2 hours, and the Wizard will give it to you, or like what are the biggest whales holding, and the Wizard will bring back the information. So probably starting off with the most popular chains like Solana, BNB, stuff like that. But definitely evolving as a really useful AI there. And, it's going to help you guide you through the Merlin Chain ecosystem as well. But if you're looking to stake, you can actually participate in helping secure the chain, as they have 3 options for the proof of stake option. The first one's Bitcoin staking. This will max out at 100 Bitcoin, and you can earn 8 to 21% APR on the total Bitcoin that you have staked there. Really cool option there. And they wanted to make this retail friendly, not just for whales. So you can do that. And then 2 other options are with the Merlin Chain token. You can do the flexible, which is a day-to-day, and you earn 15% APR. You can claim your rewards daily with that option. It does take 7 days to withdraw your Merlin tokens if you do want to stop staking. And then the last option is the bonded, which is a 6-month option, and you earn 45% APR, and you can claim your rewards daily there. Head over to merlinchain.io to dive in and learn about them. Lastly, don't forget about our integrated partners in Jungle, formerly Foxy AI, building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, and the first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker. They've also added support to Bitcoin Derby, which is a horse racing game, and Ordinal Hive. We have a big segment with Fonzie, the founder of Ordinal Hive, this coming Thursday, so make sure that you check that out. It's going to be 12 p.m. Eastern, but he's going to go over the platform and give you guys reasons on why to use Ordinal Hive over something like Magic Eden. So make sure you're tuned in there and checking them out on their socials and their website. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this entire time.
Yep. Great job, man, as always. And if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io, some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, send them our website. We really feel like if they go back in time, they go back and start reading those articles, they'll know as much as I do, right? Because every article is from each week, and you can really got to kind of see what was going on that week, that month, and that year, guys. So definitely check out all the articles. Brand new article just launched, Kraken, the breakout sex of the I can't say that with a straight face. The breakout sex of 2025. So Kraken, check them out. What is the breakout centralized exchange of 2025 bull cycle? Definitely check those guys out. If you guys need a VPN, we have the best VPN, you guys. $3.39. Don't go to nordvpn.com. Make sure you use our link so you guys unlock in That $3.39. Lock it in for 2 years, guys. Because if you lock it in for 2 years, you pay the $66, whatever. If you, let's say you lock it in for a month at the $3, when you come back, you can't use that same coupon or that same email. They're going to force you to pay $11 a month. So you definitely want to lock it in for as long as possible using that. Lock it in, set it, forget it. You're going to want to have it on at all times. You do not want to go to the websites with your IP hanging out. Your IP can actually lead to your address, right? You don't want that. You don't want people to know where you live. I know you guys already deal with that. When you sign in to Amazon, when you sign in to Yahoo, they send you an email saying, hey, there's a sign in from Philadelphia. Is this you? See, they got your IP. They tracked exactly where you're from. Don't do it, guys. Get a VPN. Don't let that happen. When you go to those sites, make them say, hey, there was a sign in from Morocco. But yeah, that was me. You can put your VPN to anywhere in the world. I like to use Switzerland, El Salvador. They're just some of the faster ones that I've used over the past. So each server kind of has its own speed. So you guys will have to mess with that to see which one you like the best. For me, I like Switzerland and El Salvador, two that I like. Anyway, definitely check out everything there. And if you guys need some merch for events or whatever, we think we have some of the best merch in all of crypto, especially with the puppets, with the dog go to the moon, and so much more. We got hoodies, shirts, and hats as well. Come here, you can see the dog go to the moon hoodie. If there's something you guys want us to add, we can pretty much add anything for you guys. Let us know. Hey, Shizzy, can you add my PFP? I have this cool puppet. I have this cool node monkey. Send it over. I'll add it to a hoodie for you guys or a shirt. Just let me know what you want, and we can pretty much add anything for you guys, and it'll be on our store for good. If you want it there. So, but that'll be awesome as well. So let us know. But guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until tomorrow,
Peace.
OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin controlling. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain revolution.